For the 2019 model year, the Volkswagen Jetta enters its 7th generation, and this car is based upon the MQB platform, the same platform that underpins the Golf, the Atlas, the Tiguan, so many new products, and now this Jetta can enter into that family as well. It's longer than the previous generation, it's lighter, it has a 1.4 litre engine with 2 different transmissions. We'll talk about that later. With everything that is currently available with this car, with the safety equipment and technology, I think we're looking at the new compact sedan leader here. But let's be certain of that by taking this car for a thorough drive here on the Drive Guide. So the Jetta does pack a lot of fantastic features in its cabin. So we're in the Exceline, which is the top trim here in Canada, and mine is packed to the brims with everything. I have the $1,000 extra driver assistance package. I also have ventilated seats as well, a dual zone climate control system. Here we have the 10-speaker Beats audio sound system. It's 400 watts and it may very well be the best speaker system I've ever heard in a non-premium car. I really honestly love it. In the most basic version of this car, you will still get an 8-inch touchscreen here in the center. You'll have heated seats, you'll have the automatic lights, but when you upgrade, you get some of the more interesting things. So there's the available 10-inch touchscreen here, which is a little more integrated. It's got this proximity sensor to it. So every time you bring your hand towards it, some additional options show up, like here, for example, for when you want to change the radio settings. I also have the digital cockpit here, and you have a lot of different ways to set it up. You have a few different views that you can have, and then in the center you can switch between your navigation, the assist systems, driving data, all of that good stuff. If you want to see a more in-depth look of this digital instrument cluster as well as the infotainment system, let me know by hitting that thumbs up button. In the most basic Jetta, you do also have the ability to go from a normal mode to an eco mode, but further up in the range you can play around with a normal, an eco, and a sport, but additionally a custom mode as well. In all honesty though, I keep this car just in its normal setting because I like how this car is as a standard setup. The steering is light and gentle. It's incredibly easy to drive. The 1.4 is rather quite responsive in of itself. That's one of the most surprising things about this, is that the 1.4 turbocharged engine that produces 147 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque feels bigger. It feels like it's a more powerful engine that will either come with a 6-speed manual or an 8-speed automatic. They've gotten rid of the 6-speed dual clutch, so this one here is a traditional torque converter. Volkswagen claims that the fuel economy for both of these transmissions is exactly the same, which is a very rare thing to find in this industry. One thing I'm not so sure about though is that with the gear selector, if you wanted to change gears manually, you have to push it away from you to then go up and down the gears yourself. Every other car that I've ever been in that has that feature has it towards me. Everything in this interior is clearly aimed to be more driver focused. The screen is tilted slightly towards me, as well as these buttons are down here. You do have a mix of hard and soft plastics, but everything feels like it's made out of one piece. And I love the ambient lighting at night. That is a brilliant feature that you can also change that color around with everything that you see in the instrument cluster and on your 10-inch screen. The seats are nicely trimmed here in this leather, but if you're tall like me, if you're over 6 foot, there definitely isn't enough leg support. All-round visibility, nothing really to worry about there. It has an absolutely massive trunk as well, and although I might not be able to sit behind myself comfortably, I can just about make it happen. Another thing with the volume knob, the power button isn't fixed in place, so wherever you turn, that's where the power button points. And if you're slightly OCD like me, or even more, this is going to drive you mad. Of course, you do have buttons on the steering wheel that can control the volume up and down, but it's just so instinctive to me to turn down the volume by turning a dial. And it's a habit I really need to kick myself out of. For the exterior design, the outgoing Jetta was about as exciting as a piece of stale bread. There was nothing about it that people looked at it and thought, that, you know what, that is something special. I feel like this is largely the same. It might be new and it might be filled with all these sharp creases, so it looks new, but I don't necessarily think it looks beautiful. It isn't exciting, but it's certainly an improvement upon that last car. For the all-new Jetta, the starting price is just under $21,000. For this car that you see here, we're looking at just over $30,000 with the inclusion of the automatic transmission and the driver assistance package. Now, although this is the priciest Jetta you can currently buy, at no point did it seem overpriced to me. There's so much technology, so much equipment that it represents a really strong value for this car. And even though the base car might not have all of the same technology, it's still going to have the same capable powertrain and the brilliantly put together interior. So if you're looking for a car in this segment, there is no doubt in my mind that the new Volkswagen Jetta has just raised the bar for the compact sedan segment. So that's been everything from me. Thank you so much for taking the time to watching this video. I hope you can like, share, and subscribe. And whilst you're at it, hit that notification bell as well. And until the next time, I'll see you again here on The Drive Guide.